Hello, friends. Welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name's Amy. I'm an ordained minister, and we're in Bible study. We are in the NIV, and we will be through 2025. In this video, we are in Leviticus chapter 6, and we are going to do all of chapter 6, which takes us to verse 30. So let's jump in. This is a continuation of the Mosaic Law, and this is also a continuation of the guilt offering heading from chapter 5. The Lord said to Moses, "If anyone sins and is unfaithful to the Lord by deceiving his neighbor about something entrusted to him and left in his care or stolen, or if he cheats him, or if he finds lost property and lies about it, or if he swears falsely, or if he commits any such sin that people may do." Okay, that's a big old catch-all, isn't it? Any sin that people may do. When he thus sins and becomes guilty, he must return what he has stolen or taken by extortion. So, no exceptions made there. Or what was entrusted to him, or the lost property he found, or whatever he swore falsely about. He must make restitution in full and add a fifth of the value. So that makes it lies are very costly. And give it all to the owner on the day he presents his guilt offering. So you can't be forgiven for a guilt offering for the sin of any form of stealing without first making restitution. I.e., I'm sorry has always meant changed behavior. I don't know why so many people have a hard time with that, but the world sure does seem to have a hard time with that. And as a penalty, he must bring to the priest, that is, to the Lord, his guilt offering, a ram from the flock, one without defect, and of proper value. In this way, the priest will make atonement for him before the Lord, and he will be forgiven for any of these things he did that made him guilty. The burnt offering. This is what this heading is. In this verse 8. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Give Aaron and his sons this command. These are the regulations for the burnt offering. The burnt offering is to remain on the altar hearth throughout the night till morning, and the fire must be kept burning on the altar." That means night shifts. That means trading day shifts, night shifts, on-off cycles. There's only so many of these people, okay? The priest shall then put on his linen clothes with the linen undergarments next to his body, and shall remove the ashes of the burnt offering that the fire has consumed on the altar, and place them beside the altar. Then he is to take off these clothes and put on others, and carry the ashes outside of the camp to the place that is ceremonially clean. So imagine, you remember they had the outerwear with the bells on it so God can hear them like they're cats and doesn't smite them. Those things. They got to take those off and have the things on underneath them. You know, the stuff that keeps them from giving God a peep show. And then when they're on the other side of that tent, they have to change out of those clothes into other clothes. So you'd have to imagine they don't really want a whole bunch of people in here during this time, because at various points you are expected to get completely undressed. Remember, this is a time frame where pants don't even exist, so forget about anything else. The fire on the altar must be kept burning. It must not go out. Every morning the priest is to add firewood and arrange the burnt offering on the fire and burn the fat of the fellowship offerings on it. It's got a footnote of A there. Traditionally, peace offerings. Okay. The fire must be kept burning on the altar continuously. It must not go out. So that's pretty specific. The grain offering. Verse 14. These are the regulations for the grain offering. Aaron's sons are to bring it before the Lord in front of the altar. The priest is to take a handful of fine flour and oil, together with the incense on the grain offering, and burn the memorial portion on the altar as an aroma pleasing to the Lord. Aaron and his sons shall eat the rest of it, but it is to be eaten without yeast in a holy place. So not just taking it back to your tent, like while you're on the compound, right? In this tent of meeting or in somewhere in that place. They are to eat it in the courtyard, of the tent of meeting. It must not be baked with yeast. I have given it as their share of offerings made to me by fire. Like the sin offering and the guilt offering, it is most holy. Any male descendant of Aaron may eat it. It is a regular share of the offerings made to the Lord by fire for the generation to come. Whatever touches them will become holy, or whoever touches them must be holy. So you have to be sanctified, right? The Lord also said to Moses, this is the offering Aaron and his sons are to bring to the Lord on the day and to the footnote, or each, on the day or each day he is anointed. 1/10 of an ephah of flour, which is 2 quarts or about 2 liters, as a regular grain offering, half of it in the morning and half of it in the evening. Prepare it with oil on a griddle, bring it well mixed, and present the grain offering broken, E, with a footnote of that. The meaning for this in Hebrew is uncertain. Broken in pieces as a aroma pleasing to the Lord. It just means break it up. It's going to burn better broken up anyway. The son who is to succeed him as anointed priest shall prepare it. Okay? It is the Lord's regular share and is to be burned completely. Every grain offering of a priest shall be burned completely. It must not be eaten. So they're going to get grain offerings from, the people of Israel, and they have to bake some of this and offer it to the Lord for their own self as their own grain offering. They don't just get to keep all the grain that's excess. The sin offering. The Lord said to Moses, say to Aaron and his sons, these are the regulations for the sin offering. The sin offering is to be slaughtered before the Lord in the place the burnt offering is slaughtered. It is most holy. The priest who offers it shall eat it. It is to be eaten in a holy place, in the courtyard of the tent of meeting. Whatever touches any of the flesh will become holy, and if any of the blood is spattered on a garment, you must wash it in a holy place. The clay pot near the clay pot the meat is cooked in must be broken. But if it is cooked in a bronze pot, the bronze pot is to be scoured and rinsed with water. Okay, so if you get any blood in the clay pot, you can't use it anymore. You got to break it. That's whereas if it's bronze, because they don't want the blood to soak in to the clay pot. Because remember, they're supposed to drain all the blood out. They're not allowed to have any blood. 1, bloodborne pathogens, which are serious and real. And it's something we should, like mad cow disease. It's stuff we should take seriously. Or the bird flu, or any of the rest of that. So there's 1. And then, 2, when dogs bite and they draw blood, we put them down. Because once they get that taste for blood, the aggression is on. And they just got to do it. Now, I don't always agree with putting the dogs down. And I'm not suggesting that we should uptick that, because I'm not really about that. I love me a no-kill shelter. That's the only ones I'll even engage with. No, just the opposite. It's more that that should apply. We should think about that. The eating of the blood. The eating of the blood makes mammals aggressive. Being a predator makes mammals aggressive, right? And if you're going to eat meat, you got to be a predator. So, and I'm not a vegan. I just make sure I cook my food. Any male in a priest's family may eat it. It is most holy. But any sin offering whose blood is brought into the tent of meeting to make atonement in the holy place must not be eaten. It must be burnt. All right, so yeah, because you don't want to eat sin. You don't want to eat sin. That's not a good idea. Unless you believe those movies and, with the Catholic Church, where they have that, people who are sin eaters. So it's supposed to be able to keep you going or something. But I'm not saying that the Catholic Church says any such thing exists. All right, I have no knowledge of whether or not the Catholic Church actually has these people. It just was a movie. And that's how I took it. Because it's a pretty fantastical movie. With Heath Ledger, I believe. If you can find it. Until the next video, friends.